Introduction to this paper. What this paper is. This is a formal indictment of the UK state care system. It is not a personal opinion, political protest, or emotional reaction. It is a legally grounded, data-backed revelation of a system that has, for decades, operated beneath the surface of public scrutiny, behind secret courts and closed doors. Every claim within this document is supported by the government's own statutes, data sets, and agency reports. Every conclusion drawn is based on measurable outcomes, not speculation. This paper pairs the law as written with the reality as lived, and lays bare the contradiction. Who this paper is for. Lawyers and legal advocates seeking grounds for judicial review, civil claims, or public interest litigation. MPs and public officials who have received complaints and now require clarity, evidence, and legislative cause. Whistleblowers inside the system who have witnessed harm and need a shield of lawful truth behind which to stand. Parents and carers who have been silenced, traumatized, or falsely accused, and seek the language to challenge injustice. Journalists and researchers looking for a concise, referenceable summary of the system's internal contradictions. Campaigners and reformers needing a foundation for petitions, class actions, or public mobilization. Judges and decision-makers who wish to honor their oaths but have lacked a clear summary of systemic context. Survivors who know the truth but were never given the words to name it. What this paper can be used for. As a foundation document in care-related legal claims, bundles, or formal complaints. As an attachment to DSARs, FOI requests, or appeals where the system has failed to meet lawful duties. As a briefing note for MPs, local councillors, or journalists willing to investigate institutional harm. As a petition insert or public-facing explainer for campaigns to expose the care system's failures. As a mirror for those inside the system who still believe it is serving children. As a call to action for those ready to end the harm and initiate true protection. Why this paper is so powerful. Because it uses the system's own words, own laws, and own statistics. Because it makes no personal accusations, leaving no one to hide behind, defamation, or bad apple narratives. Because it removes all grey areas. It does not debate policy. It shows outcomes. Because it cannot be dismissed. Not in Parliament. Not in court. Not in conscience. And because it ends with a choice, not an attack. It does not call for vengeance. It calls for truth. And truth is the one force no system built on fear can survive. A word to the reader. You may not have caused this system. You may not have known the depth of its harm. But now you do. You have the pattern. You have the proof. You have the words. What you do with them will echo through every child yet to be saved. The system that cannot heal. A formal revelation of the UK state care complex. Preface. This report summarizes publicly available data and statutory material. It is presented for research, policy discussion, and reform advocacy. No individual employee or agency is accused of personal misconduct. Rather, the systemic design itself is examined. Introduction. This document presents undeniable evidence that the UK's statutory care system is no longer fit for purpose. Its structure is not merely broken, it is harmful by design, protected by secrecy, enabled by courts, and perpetuated through a culture of compliance. We speak not from opinion, but from the system's own data, policies, and statutes. You cannot reform what was never built to heal. Section 1. System claims versus system failures. Each section pairs a statutory promise with its real-world outcome. 1. Best interests of the child. Statutory claim. Children Act 1989, Section 1. The child's welfare shall be the court's paramount consideration. Reality. Children are removed under vague justifications such as risk of future emotional harm, often without evidence of actual abuse. Once in care they are more likely to become homeless 39% within 2 years, Centrepoint, 2023. Enter the criminal justice system 25% of care leavers, Moj, 2020. Experience further abuse, Ofsted, 2022. Verdict: best interests is a legal shield behind which harm is normalized. 2. Due process. Statutory claim. Human Rights Act 1998, Article 6, Right to a fair hearing. Reality. Family courts operate in secrecy. No jury, no public scrutiny. Parents often lack representation. Children are denied a voice. Social work reports are treated as fact without cross-examination. These practices breach the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, Articles 9 and 12. Verdict: this is not due process, it is ritualized administrative removal. 3. Protection from harm. Statutory claim. Children Act 1989, Section 17, Duty to safeguard. Reality. Children in care frequently suffer greater harm. Sexual abuse in placements, IACSA Final Report, 2022. Persistent emotional trauma unaddressed. CAMHS delays exceeding 18 months in many regions, NHS Digital, 2023. Verdict: the system manufactures the trauma it claims to prevent. 4. Support, not separation. Statutory claim. Children Act 1989, Section 34, Duty to promote family contact. Reality. Contact is restricted or blocked even where no risk exists. Siblings are separated for years. Decisions rest on personal opinion, ignoring, working together to safeguard children, DF, 2018. Verdict: the system claims to preserve families while profiting from breaking them. 5. Education and well-being. Statutory claim. Children, Leaving Care, Act 2000. Send Code of Practice, PEP obligations. Reality. 38% of care leavers aged 19 to 21 are NEET, DF outcomes, 2023. EHCPs delayed or never issued. Many leave care without qualifications, housing, or support. Verdict: this is not education, it is institutional abandonment. 6. Independent oversight. Statutory claim. Children Act 1989, Section 25B and ERO Handbook. Reality. Independent reviewing offices rarely challenge failures. Reviews are rushed. Children's views rewritten. The local government and social care ombudsman confirms continuing systemic breaches, Linksco Annual Report, 2022. Verdict: the watchdog serves the master. Oversight as performance art. Section 2. The cost of state intervention outcome. Care experienced children, general population. Homeless by 25. 39%, Centrepoint, 2023, approximately 2% criminal conviction by 21-25%, Moj, 2020, less than 3% early pregnancy by 18-33%, NSPCC, 2022, 10% PTS and or trauma indicators, 50-70%, IICSA, 2022, 7-10% school exclusion rate, 6 times national average. Verdict: the system is a trauma amplifier, not a remedy. Section 3. Why the system cannot be reformed. Funded by failure. Each removal increases revenue. Removes before support. Families punished, not helped. Shielded by secrecy. Family courts suppress scrutiny. No liability. Negligence goes unpunished. Expanding, not shrinking. Over 80,000 children now in care, DF, 2023. Section 4. What must happen now? Immediate moratorium on removals based on risk of future harm. Full public inquiry into all removals since 2000. Open family courts to public observation. criminal liability for falsified or perjured professional reports, reparations for children abused or neglected while in care, dismantle profit-driven foster and placement corporations. Final word. No reform can save it. No inquiry can cleanse it. It must be seen, named, and ended. This system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as designed. To separate, process, and destroy the sacred bond between child and parent, in the name of protection. Issued by those with eyes to see and ears to hear, in collaboration with survivors, whistleblowers, legal researchers, and protectors of the living bond. This is a mirror. If you recognize yourself within it, decide which side you stand on.